Why, hello everybody, welcome back to a little bit more Kingdom Come, where we're joined out here in our lovely little village built. You know, roughly this village costs you about, it's say around 100,000 to build altogether. You got your church, you got your little rat house, but, for someone like Henry, who still, even after he built this entire village, still has about a 1.3 million, what do you do with all this money? That's what we're going to be answering today, because could Henry actually afford all of Rattay, like everything in there? Because I never thought about how much it costs to buy the entire city. And that's what we're going to be doing today. And the way we're going to be doing that is we're going to be using the prices from this DLC. We're going to roughly use the prices because some of the stuff, is comparable, but the prices are going to flux a little bit here and there, but you know what? You could leave a comment on the video and we can discuss it further. But the price will be way more than you actually think. So let's get into it. Let's have Henry go all the way back to Rattay and let's start doing that. Alright, so Henry's got some money burning in his pocket and he wants to see if he can actually afford to buy all of Rattay. Starting off, I think everybody agreed. Anytime, so where Henry starts right here, we're going to start doing the value from here all the way up until, well, we'll go about here. So everything that you see in between here, we're going to have to charge Henry for. So the main things that you don't think about is that we got to pay for bridges here. And you notice that there's lots of bridges all around. So there's 1 bridge, there's 2 bridge, 3 bridge, there's a 4 bridge, there's a 5 bridge, 6, 7, 8. About 8 bridges right there. There's 9, there's 10, there's 11 right there. There's 12 that you got right there. So we got 12 bridges in this entire area that we're going to do. And each bridge costs about 4,000. So we're going to have to pay 4,000. So look at this. We barely walked through. We're not even getting to the main gate. And we already have 8,000 costs to just bridges itself. Like, they're not as nice as the other bridge, but some bridges are nicer and then some are crappier. But Henry's going to pay for them anyway. So going here to the miller's house, even though this does act like a shop and is a miller's place, we're going to treat that like a vendor itself. Now, the thing is I was asking chat, and they were saying, like, the DLC, each trader, even though they don't have a miller up there, traders are usually worth about 5 grand when you look at the book. But people were saying that this is, Rattay is a little bit nicer, a little bit bigger, so you should probably charge double for that. So we're going to slap on 10,000 for that just to build a miller out here. So alright, so just start racking up the cost. So Henry's slowly going broke here. Next door you have a tanner shop. There's not a tanner shop in the other place. It's like a standard shop. So I mean 5k sounds pretty good. We're kind of messing around because these aren't the real big shops that you care about. Once you get into Rattay, you'll see things change out quite a bit. There's also a charcoal burner all the way down here at this little marker here. Technically, you can't buy anything from them except when you have the DLC, so they are a dedicated shop. So that's going to be an extra 5k right there. The bathhouse here is something that's unique too. It's technically a trader, and people were saying that this is a nicer one, so you should probably charge about 15,000 for that. So. And out here, we got the Executioner with Herman. It's a pretty nice area. We should just call it about 10,000 there. 10,000 to pay for that. There's nothing else that's really unique. There is a Miller place out here too. We'll just call that 10k as well, even though it's not really a dedicated shop, but it's marked as a Miller, which is kind of frustrating. So congratulations, you're getting a Miller shop too. The thing that Henry's not going to be paying for is these little houses out here that serve no purpose other than being people's little private farms or whatever else. Henry's not paying for that, so he's not paying for any of those other houses that are in there. If they're out here on their own, you know what? That's their problem, not Henry's problem. Henry is not paying for everybody's lifestyle. So now, entering the main town, you might be asking about castle walls and everything else like that. How much are going to cost? We'll get to that later on. What we're going to focus on mostly is finding the prices for basically every shop that we have out here. In Rattay, the main weaponsmiths that you can get, they cost about 10k. Weaponsmith or armorsmith, you're looking at about 10k right there. It's pretty nice. We'll jump it up to 20,000 just to, make it look, presentable, because you got a real building here. You don't got just a standard building. Same thing with the armorsmith, and also because it goes all the way back, it's actually a pretty big building, so we'll call that 20,000. These little traders with the stalls out here, we're going to call each one of them 4,000. You can buy a regular trader shop itself for about 4,000, so I feel like 4,000 is overpaying for this. but Henry's feels like splurging money because he's Mr. Moneybags out here. We got 1, 2, 3 merchants right here. We call them 4K, so each, that's 12,000. So congratulations. There's also the extended rat house out here. The extended rat house, to build that in Rattay is about 14,000 for the extended one. So, you know, we'll call that a cool 15,000. It doesn't look too fancy compared to the other one, so I don't feel too bad. So also, there's a scribe up there inside. You got like a little scribe shop you can count. We're gonna count that as an extra 5,000. It is not very big, but I'm not paying the full, like, double the amount. We do have the tailor shop. Tailor shop's pretty nice. It looks pretty good inside the building. We'll count that as another, you know, 10,000 investment. There's also a prison in here. The only thing I can compare it to is that there's guardhouse.
Oh, Mike, here again.
Hey, shut it, you. Guardhouses in the DLC, they cost about 5,000. This seems like a guardhouse sort of thing. Let's just count that as 5,000. We got the alchemy shop here. Again, it's a little nicer building. Count that as 10,000 because you got the stucco. The other ones are built out of just basic wood. This one's actually got character to it. There's an alchemy bench back here. Alchemy benches are pretty cheap. Henry's not going to pay that much. 800 gold for that. That's probably one of the cheapest things you're going to find out here. So now here comes to breaking the bank for Henry. Churches. Now this is a really big church, and the one in the from the Ashes DLC that you have to like rebuild from a base. So you're not even building from scratch, and we're talking about building this from scratch. So looking at this, I kind of estimated to build the church out there in the DLC, you're kind of looking at about 40,000 or so, kind of, you know, roughly around there with all the frescoes and everything else. You're looking at about 45,000. So with this size of church, someone was saying, you know, about 100,000. You know, I'll break in the middle of here and I'll say 75,000 for the church. We can probably range it 75 to 100,000. Depends on how you feel about it, but that's how we're gonna price that at. So technically, this is like a guardhouse area, and oh, my frame rate just died. This is where all the guards are hiding.
Hey, what the hell was that?
Oh god, I can't. Oh, my game crashed. But anyways, technically...
Show me what you've got concealed.
Shut up, you.
Don't you know who I am?
Hey, Henry of Skalitz.
Henry of Skalitz.
Henry of Scarlets.
Henry!
Wait, it's Henry.
Henry of Scarlets.
I'm sorry. You can go ahead.
Yeah, damn right. Get out of my way. I'm trying to buy the town up. Don't you understand? Get out of here, you broke-ass guard. Anyways, so this house has two different levels, and we're talking off here. I was originally just going to say there's a guardhouse. Guardhouse is worth about 5,000 from the Ashes DLC, so you got 2 levels. That's 10,000. And then everyone's like, but it's a stone building. All right, fine. 20,000 for just this section right here with the guards and everything else. I think that's a fair price. Butcher shop, it's only worth 5,000 from the Ashes DLC. We'll double it, so 10,000. We got another basic merchant over here. You know, he doesn't sell anything cool, and his shop's not even that cool looking. But then again, it's double leveled, so we'll throw 10,000 there just to get that shop. Vegetable shop that I don't think many people ever visit, except if you're gonna buy weird stuff. Again, we'll give you 10,000 for the place. It's a double level. Bakery up here, you know, we'll assume that it's worth about 5,000 up there, so we'll double it, 10,000. These houses right here that don't serve any purpose other than housing people, that's people's problem, not Henry's problem. They get to pay that for themselves. Henry's just here building the basics. Taverns, I hope it's not too controversial. Taverns themselves, like up in the DLC, you're kind of looking for a full tavern with the brewery, the building, and dice game. You're looking at about 11,000 altogether. Tavern out there looks pretty good. These look pretty good. I'm just gonna go 11,000 for each tavern, and it shouldn't be too controversial on that one. So we got a cobbler. Again, we're gonna throw 10,000 at it, even though it's a single level, and I feel kind of guilty of it. You're gonna have a really nice cobbler shop, I guess, but congratulations. Do that. Out here we got another tavern that's 11,000 more. Out here it's kind of unique. An archery range will set you back about 1,000, so we're going to just say this is worth 1,000 right here. The problem we have is that this guy is a vendor. Actually, you can actually buy arrows and everything else off of him, so he's actually worth about, we'll just say he's worth about 4,000 being a basic merchant. He just has a tent. You're not That's a lot of money for a tent, buddy. So 4,000 for you. So basically this area, 5,000 altogether. Now here comes where Henry's pocketbooks start to hurt again. We got the guardhouse that's over here, this armory tower and everything else. This one seems slightly bigger. Should you get an extra level? We'll just toss in 30,000. We'll just say it's 30,000, 10,000 per level. That sounds pretty fair to have this tower right here. We have an arena for fighting. This doesn't seem too crazy out here, but the arenas. The only way to get in a fighting arena out there in the village is to actually get a guardhouse, which is worth 5,000. We'll just call this 5,000 even, just to have this out here. Just so we can have a Captain Bernard sitting here all day and doing nothing. You're the captain of guards, train people, do something. Taverns are, again, 11,000. It's probably the nicer tavern out of all the ones. But the rest of these buildings, Henry is not going to pay for. They're all peasant buildings, and that's not his problem. We got the hunter here. He has a nice building here. He acts as a vendor. That's an extra 10,000 right there. Here, we just got a basic blacksmith. There's nothing special about him. He only gets 8,000. Now this church, on the other hand, this church is pretty nice, and it seems like it has all the settings. It's basically about the same size. So I'm probably just gonna lean towards 50,000 for this. It feels like a 50,000 groschen building. Now we're getting to the expensive areas, very expensive areas. So again, we have, oh god, very unique things happening, like one, floating weapons. This is what happens when you bonk your game a lot. But here we go. We got the main courtyard here. Again, we have a fighting arena tournament here. We're going to count this as 5,000 right here. Technically, there's a stable here. It's a basic stable. Stables charge you about 7,000 up there, so we're just going to charge this for 7,000. Back here is that something that people don't usually know about. We actually have a little garden. Congratulations, Henry. Gardens cost you about 500, like an herb garden. It's not really an herb garden, but because you get a free guy just to sit here and do your garden. Yeah, so here comes the tricky part. So these guard houses right here, they station guards up and all the way up and down here. And also the big gatehouses. So there's that, and there's this one right here. They're really hard to evaluate because, like, how do you charge for the stone and the size? So talking to chat and seeing how it goes, we're probably looking at about 60,000 for each one, 50 to 60,000 for each one of these, just these sections. Because, you know, you have the gatehouse, you have all that. Congratulations, Henry. Between those two, that's 120,000 groschen. And we haven't even got to the building or the other side of the walls or anything else yet. You are not going to like this, Henry.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, so from here, we're sort of just estimating prices now because it's really hard to tell how to actually price something. Now we're going to go into here. There's a cook area here. I assume I'll treat it like a shop. There's a basement too, so I'll say it's 10K for this little area. And then this area is kind of like for, you know, servants, and also, like, we'll just say for guards or whatever. So this is like another 10K. So we'll just say, you know, 20,000 for this section. And to be fair, you know, up here it's the same thing. It's kind of like, you know, Captain Bernard sleeps here. Make that 10K. Make that 10K. I think we were talking about, you know, 20K per floor, and then there's like technically another floor up there on top, but you can't access it, not unless you like beef jump through there. So we'll just say it's like 60K for this whole, you know, side right here. So between the three, you got 180,000 just off of there. And we're not even counting the walls yet. The walls are, oh boy, they're going to be a whole different price. So 180,000 for that. Now, if we start counting the walls, this is where things get a little bit tricky. You know, for these big stone walls that we have here, we're talking to people, and, you know, I think the estimate that a lot of people adjusted for is like 15 to 20,000 each. Of course, a gatehouse sort of here, right here. Let's just count this, you know, section as 20,000. And also, I should mention that, you know, off these markings, we're going to be, you know, just estimate markings. So, you know, again, give or take, you know, you can add more, take away more. This is just to get rough estimates. So one section there, two sections to go to about here, 3 sections to the 4, so that's 60,000 just right here. We'll count this as a section, so that's 80,000. And then these walls are like, you know, they're on the side of the cliff, so we'll count these as 15,000 each right here. So we'll just say, you know, 15 We'll go, this will be up to 30,000 up here. This will be 45, and we'll go to 60,000 this, 60,000 that section, and so then go up here, that'll be like 75, and over here, that'll be a cool 90. So tack another 90,000 on there, just for these, walls off of here. We'll start here, and so we say this will be 20,000 here. Boom. It's pretty nice, 20,000. We'll go up to here, that's a 40,000. We'll go down here to this, that'll be 60,000. And we'll go out to here to 80,000. And this will be 100,000 extra right here. So, oh god. Guess this kind of counts as a wall. I never really noticed these bags up here, but now that I got noticed, so we'll just add an extra 20,000 for just this section. Yeah, this castle is expensive. So, hey yo, whoo baby. All right, so when we go to this castle, yeah, Henry's gonna feel the pain. So this area is interesting because technically it has a stable. So we're starting this off 7,000 straight up. Down here on this basement floor, it's kind of interesting because they have an armory. Let's just say 10,000 for that. There's a guard bed. We'll just count that as another 10,000, and we'll go out here. This is another 10,000, so that's 30,000 for the basement floor alone.
Hey, you've no business here.
There you go. Shut up, you. Henry's trying to do business here. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. So these walls are kind of short. We'll charge 15 grand each, and then I assume they probably don't cost that much, but their cost can go to the other stone or whatever else. So we'll just say 15,000 for each of these sections when it starts curving. So one section, so 15. We'll go to about here 30. That's a 45. 60. We'll go down to here 75, and down here will be about 90. And then around the corner, that's 105, 120. And then we'll say 135, and then we'll just go to here to 150. So about 150,000 for this outside section. Once we get into here to the second level, it's kind of the same thing. We got, a nice room in there. We'll say that's 10,000. We'll say this is another 10,000, 20,000. They got a cook in here, so that's 30,000. So I feel like 30,000 per floor seems pretty reasonable. Then we go to the top here. You shouldn't stand here. You see all these arrows? But anyways, up here, you get fancy room. I can't believe I'll say it, but Hans Capon's room could be like 10,000, even though it's like 2 beds and a freaking window out there. But fine, whatever. Spend it on wine, I guess. Have a dining room. That's 10,000 with Sir Radzik rooms. So.
Hey, you. What are you doing? Fuck off before I...
You don't give that lip to me. Telling me to F off? Get out of here. Anyways, it's a nice room. You could stay in there. So like this entire floor, we'll just say it's 30,000 as well. They have a little chapel in here. So this is where it gets a little tricky. If I just say 50,000 for this because of how, nice the top floor is. So basically 10, 20, and then we'll do 70. So basically 70,000 for this top floor. And like I said, the top floor could pay for the other side. So this is kind of just an estimate average. So you can add that up all you want. Now this tower is interesting because right here, it's a really tall tower. And there's like 3 floors to the guards there. I think we charge, 60,000 for the other 2 towers in the other castle. I want to say this one's taller. So maybe I'm going to go 75,000. We'll add a little bit more. So this section right here is 75,000. It might be a little undershot since it's a really tall tower, but we'll go with that. 75,000. Now we just got to count the walls and stuff out here on this outer side. So we'll count these as 20,000 altogether. So we'll just start off here to this corner. That's 20K. Right here where the guard starts, that's 40,000. We'll go up to the end here. That's 60. And then this will be 80. 100, 120. We'll go to the end here for 140. We'll go to the middle here, right here, for 160. And then right here will be 180,000 for just the walls section. Yeah, this place is ridiculously expensive too. Henry's going broke, and we haven't even got to the walls, like the main city walls out here. It's going to be ridiculous. I can't believe to say it, but I don't think even with Henry's, massive wealth, I don't think he's going to be able to afford this. We're going to have to do a lot more stealing to get up to this. So anyways, let's start with the front gate, and we'll go around the whole place and try to count this out, because this is going to get brutal. So we're going to start with this corner and go around. So this is one section, 20,000. Seems about right. Gatehouse will be another 20,000 here. We'll give it we'll splash some dough on that. All the way to this end, so that's 40,000 there. All the way to here, 60,000. We'll go to here about, so that's 80,000. And right here, so that's 100,000 there. And then this we already counted, because that's part of the castle wall, so we already counted that. So 100,000 for that section. All right, so we're gonna go into this section here. So we already counted that side of the wall, going this way. So here, so it's another 20,000. We'll go about here, 40,000 there. So there, and then now we'll wrap it to here to about 80,000. So here, we'll just keep going to this section. That's 100,000 now. That's 120,000. This will be 140,000. Here, 60,000. Here, 108,000. 200,000. 220. 240. 260. 280. Oh god, and all here. 300,000. Just the walls. Oh my god. Okay. Recount this. So this will be 320. This will be 340. 360. This is a tower too, so we'll just double this up. It'll be like 40,000 for this, I say. So that's like 400,000. We'll go from here to here for 20,000. So 420, leaves it. Then here will be another 20, so 440. We'll count the 1. It's 1, so yeah, 460, and then just a small section. That'll be 480 there. And we already counted. So we already counted that subsection. So that's already been counted before. So 480 so far for those outer walls. So okay. So we're up on the battlements, and it's a lot easier to actually count it. So we counted the outside walls out there. So far it's 480, and now we're gonna start over here. Oh my god, I ran over here and it took a while, and I don't have the heart to count this. Henry, don't look. This is gonna be bad. So 480 so far. We'll go up to here, 500,000. We'll go to about here. That'll be 520. And we'll go to here since we'll get there. 540, 560, yeah, wait, 580, 600,000, 620, 640, 660, 680, 700, 720. We'll go about here. 740, 760, 780, 800,000. 820 if I can get past these guards. 840. My game might crash. I gotta be careful because there's so many guards in here. I don't know how to do this. Maybe if I just look up. Nope. Alright, whoa. My game did not like that. So, I'm not gonna look inside there. We're on the other side of the guardhouse. So here, we'll start on this wall. So we're 840. This would be 860. We'll go to here, 880, 900,000. We'll go to about here, 920, 940, 960, 980, 1 million. So 1 million equals 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Yeah, so 100,000. So basically 1.1 mil about. So we got 1.1 mil for just the walls out there. I mean, I counted the castle walls over there and there separately, but 1.4 million for just the outer walls. Now we gotta count the inner walls. Oh my god. So to start off, I'm not gonna count these walls. I think this is part of the church, so it doesn't really matter. Someone found stones and just stacked them up. Same thing with the butcher's thing. That doesn't count. I'm not counting that. The walls I care about are more over here. Yeah, so these inner walls is what I care about more. We're gonna just start about right here. They're gonna only be 15,000 each because, yeah, they're not massive stone walls. They're just basic ones. So we'll go with like 15,000 each on this. So that's 15. Yes, this is 105 right there for these inner walls on this section. So 105 there, and we can't forget this last section of wall here. There'll still be 15,000 too. So right here, so we got 105 that left off here. We'll go all the way to here, 80, and then all the way to the end, 195. So basically, we'll just say 200,000. That is just about everything here in Rattay. Henry cannot afford this. You think $1 million's a lot in this game? It's not. If you had to buy Rattay, and I'm not even counting these other buildings here, you can count them to your own estimate, but they're chump change compared to the big ticket items. So, well, I think that's good enough for now. Henry would need a lot of money to buy this entire place. Essentially, Henry is broke and cannot afford to buy all of Rattay easily. He's gonna have to get a second job, because right now we're looking at, you know, oh god, that's a lot of money. So Henry, you're gonna have to get back to work and actually start getting some funding for this place. And there's no better place to get funding than our favorite place. Yes, give me all your money, boys. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope to see you all around next time. We're going to go and loot tons of armor and everything else to get this to work again. So I hope you all enjoy, and hope to see you around next time. Henry's just going to be here for about a few centuries trying to get this kind of money out. Until then, have a good one, and goodbye. Give me all your stuff. Henry's gonna get fat here. Guards, bandits, it doesn't matter. Give me that stuff. Henry's broke.